Bom dia a todos, é um super prazer conduzir esse evento que celebra o Dia da Engenharia Brasil-Alemanha. Eu sou a Renate Fuchs, eu sou vice-presidente na VDI e eu tenho o prazer de acompanhá-los aqui durante esses 2 dias de evento. Essa é a nossa 12ª edição, em nome da VDI, Associação de Engenheiros Brasil-Alemanha. Eu agradeço a presença de vocês e de todos que tornaram possível a realização desse evento. Então, nosso agradecimento aqui aos patrocinadores Platinum, a Bosch, a Kimball, a Siemens e a Vulcan, os nossos patrocinadores Ouro, a BASF, a Exact Sales, a Lanxess e a Mercedes-Benz, aos patrocinadores educacionais, a FACENS, Faculdade de Engenharia de Sorocaba e o Instituto Mauá de Tecnologia, e aos apoiadores Startup, Bônus e Infinite Foundry. Bom, pessoal, essa é a nossa primeira edição virtual, então bem diferente para todos nós, obviamente em decorrência à pandemia, e esperamos que vocês se familiarizem rapidamente com a plataforma que nós montamos, e eu gostaria agora de explicar a nossa programação para vocês, o que nós vamos fazer nos próximos dias e como é que vocês vão conseguir, passar por todo esse evento junto conosco, tá? Então, a gente vai ter, nos 2 dias, sempre um Keynote internacional, que vem logo em seguida, depois, uma roda viva, onde nós teremos diferentes especialistas opinando e discutindo o tema elaborado no Keynote. Então, hoje de manhã, a gente vai ter aqui um Keynote internacional do speaker Karl-Heinz Streibich, o presidente da Catec, depois com a Roda Viva, falando da maturidade da indústria 4.0 no Brasil. Nós teremos, então, desde as 11h30 até as 18h, conteúdos diferentes liberados para vocês. Eu já vou explicar um pouco melhor como é que vocês vão acessar, mas tem muita coisa super interessante. E aí, no final do dia, às 18h30, a gente vai ter mais um Roda Viva, aí comigo falando do Industrie for Her, da liderança feminina no futuro digital. E nós teremos também aqui a entrega do prêmio VDI Brasil 2020. E aí, para amanhã, nós temos também mais um Keynote internacional, aqui com o COO do Cluster de Excelência da Internet de Produção da Universidade Técnica de Aachen, e teremos também mais um Keynote internacional, aqui falando sobre o cloud industrial da Volkswagen, com o Frank Göhler, que é o head de produção digital da Volkswagen. Em seguida, a gente terá aqui também mais um Roda Viva, aqui falando sobre soluções de plataforma para uma cadeia de valor, ok? Então, com isso, a gente vai encerrar o nosso evento amanhã. Eu espero que vocês gostem bastante. Queria esclarecer um pouco melhor para vocês como é que a plataforma vai funcionar. Então, vocês terão acesso, se a gente puder ir para o próximo slide, vocês terão acesso das 11h30 até as 6h a Expert Talks. A gente terá aqui diferentes experts de empresas e também de entidades para conversar com vocês sobre temas diferentes. São mais ou menos aí slots de meia hora, e vocês vão poder se registrar para esses slots, onde vocês não só escutarão um pouquinho mais sobre o tema através dos experts, mas vocês vão ter oportunidade de trazerem suas perguntas, conversar e debater. Então, a gente tem aqui diferentes salas. A gente vai ter uma sala com a Bosch falando de Value Stream Connection. A gente tem uma sala com a FACENS falando sobre capacitação de profissionais 4.0. Tem uma sala do Instituto Mauá falando de como planejar e conduzir a transformação digital. A Mercedes-Benz vai trazer um expert sobre Data Lake. A Siemens vai trazer um expert sobre Edge Computing. E a gente tem ainda mais outras 4 salas, tem uma sala com a Infinity Foundry, falando de gêmeos digitais, o valor do 3D para a indústria, e se o 4D está tão longe assim. A gente tem uma sala com o Exec Sales, falando sobre hacks e o uso da tecnologia para modelos comerciais, então como ir além de fazer vendas. Tem uma sala com a Vulcan, falando de experiências de sucesso, de parceria empresa-universidade da Vulcan Brasil com universidades da Alemanha. E, por fim, a gente tem uma sala com a Bônus Legal Services, falando de LGPD, que fazer inicialmente como está a par da nova lei de proteção de dados no Brasil. E aí, para vocês entenderem como é que vai funcionar, como é que vocês se registram para o Expert Talks, tá? Importante. Se vocês estiverem ali na feira virtual e entrarem direto no Expert Talks, vocês vão perceber que vocês não vão conseguir entrar, tá? Então, para vocês se registrarem, primeiramente, vocês vão ter que entrar em atividades, que está ali em cima, ao lado de feira virtual. E aí, entrando em atividades, vocês terão aqui uma visão sobre todas essas salas que eu acabei de explicar para vocês. Entrando, clicando na sala que vocês têm interesse, vocês vão ter acesso aos slots, né, e vão poder entrar no slot desejado por vocês para fazer o registro, tá? E aí sim, vocês podem voltar para a feira virtual, vão entrar ali no Expert Talks e podem já acessar a sala que vocês desejam, que vocês já se registraram, vão checar se está tudo certo, o microfone, o áudio. Vocês têm a opção de chat aqui também com a equipe e vocês podem acessar daí diretamente a sala. Tá? Então, acho que vai ser relativamente simples, só não esqueçam realmente de se registrarem ali em atividades. As salas, elas terão no máximo 7 pessoas, então, quanto antes vocês conseguirem também se registrar, melhor fica. E, além dos Expert Talks, a gente tem para vocês também bastante conteúdo pré-gravado sobre diferentes temas que vocês podem ver no VP Play. Então, acessem ali o VP Play também durante esse mesmo período das 11 às 18h30, e aí vocês podem navegar por todos os conteúdos que a VDI preparou com muito carinho para vocês. Bom, então agora eu vou pedir para algumas pessoas darem as palavras de boas-vindas para vocês. Eu vou chamar aqui, na sequência, o secretário executivo do Ministério de Ciência, Tecnologia e Inovações, o Júlio Semerghini, o cônsul-geral da República Federativa da Alemanha em São Paulo, o Thomas Schmidt, o presidente da VDI Alemanha, o Volker Käfer, e o diretor-geral da VDI Alemanha, o Ralf Apper.
É um prazer enorme estar aqui, como engenheiro que também sou, parabenizando da primeira edição virtual, o Dia da Engenharia Brasil-Alemanha. Quero saudar em nome do nosso presidente, o engenheiro Maurício Muramoto, todos aqueles que estarão participando desse evento e todos os membros da VDI Brasil. O tema escolhido, a Indústria 4.0, é um tema oportuno, e que tem toda a relação entre os nossos países, Brasil e Alemanha. No entanto, a indústria 4.0, ela está conectada, interligada, totalmente dentro de uma transformação digital, porque passa os países, inclusive o Brasil e a Alemanha nesse momento. No Brasil, o presidente Jair Bolsonaro, sob a liderança do ministro Marcos Pontes, tem preparado um grande marco regulatório, um novo ambiente propício para que possamos aproveitar as oportunidades da transformação digital. Já foi aprovado um novo marco regulatório das telecomunicações, que muda o conceito das empresas que participaram do processo de privatização, de concessão para autorização. Muda totalmente o foco dos compromissos de universalização, que eram na telefonia fixa, com o tempo de instalar orelhões e de mantê-los funcionando, ou o tempo de instalar um telefone fixo, para o foco na banda larga. Mas não só o foco na banda larga, mas para assegurar que, através de banda larga fixa ou móvel, se possível dos dois, todo o continente brasileiro seja coberto e possa permitir que, nesse mundo da transformação digital, o mundo totalmente conectado, a gente possa incluir áreas extremamente importantes e hoje isoladas do norte, nordeste ou até mesmo do forte agronegócio brasileiro no centro-oeste e sudeste do Brasil. Nesse novo marco regulatório, não só muda-se o modelo das empresas, permite que elas se articulem de maneira focada agora com as suas novas estruturas, com a parceria nesse modelo de autorização, e algumas estão acabando absorvendo negócios da outra, se articulando e preparando os grandes investimentos para o que virá já no próximo ano. É importante entendermos que nas mudanças da telecomunicações no Brasil, vão, inclusive, permitir associação, compra de empresas das grandes provedoras no Brasil, mas, mais do que tudo, permitir uma participação mais forte daqueles provedores regionais, sozinhos ou de maneira articulada. Isso vai dar um avanço significativo do acesso à banda larga no Brasil, pelos brasileiros. Mais do que isso, foi aberto também agora, foi publicado o decreto de antenas, que vai facilitar a passagem dos cabos de fibra por todas as estradas, ferrovias, pelos cabos de energia elétrica, pelas infraestruturas de energia elétrica, em vários outros setores. Além disso, facilitar a implantação de antenas. Estamos, na verdade, preparando um ambiente para a licitação e o início das instalações dos investimentos em 5G no Brasil, já para 2021. Mas é muito importante que não se trate só apenas de infraestrutura. Mesmo que a concessão, leilão do 5G já esteja prevendo áreas para que possam ser feitos os investimentos das redes corporativas já na infraestrutura de 5G, é importante que a gente trate da ciência e da tecnologia de uma maneira mais ampla. Por isso tudo, o Brasil renovou recentemente com o Congresso toda a reestruturação da lei de informática, que permite que as indústrias que quiserem continuar fabricando os seus bens de informática e telecomunicações aqui no Brasil, possam fazê-lo agora com uma visão de médio e longo prazo através dos seus investimentos. Mas, mais do que isso, também faz um projeto amplo para a área de internet das coisas, implantou a política, criando as câmaras do 4.0, mas, além disso, de estar estimulando a produção, a integração da academia, dos governos, e governos eu digo federal, estaduais e municipais, mas também com a iniciativa privada, para que a gente comece a colocar em prática já os projetos de internet da coisa, mas para que eles possam ser aplicados de maneira ampla e de alto volume, é importante que concluamos agora ou a aprovação da lei ou a publicação de uma medida provisória que já está, inclusive, com os recursos previstos no projeto de lei orçamentária encaminhado pelo presidente Bolsonaro ao Congresso para assegurar a isenção na comunicação entre os dispositivos. Portanto, isso será feito no ano de 2020 e teremos totalmente condições de iniciarmos em escala já os investimentos e aplicação dos projetos de internet das coisas. quero aproveitar para parabenizar toda a equipe da VDI Brasil pelo desempenho, pelo trabalho que tem tido na Câmara Setorial 4.0, na Indústria 4.0, e também a participação nas outras câmaras, que além da Indústria 4.0, trata-se de cidades inteligentes, trata-se da Saúde 4.0 e também do agronegócio 4.0 no Brasil. Mas é importante que, ainda mais do que isso, a gente crie uma oportunidade de desenvolver novas tecnologias, como a inteligência artificial e outros, para que possam ser incluídos como uma ferramenta importante o uso dessas tecnologias na construção de soluções para a cooperação em engenharia dos dois países, Brasil e Alemanha. O Brasil, nesse momento, liderado pelo ministro Marcos Pontes e em parceria com a FAPESP em São Paulo, já está no processo final, seleção de 4 grandes centros de tecnologia de inteligência artificial, para o foco nessas 4 áreas das câmaras setoriais do plano de IoT. Mas, ao mesmo tempo em que se conclui o processo da escolha dos primeiros 4 centros, terão recursos de aporte por 5 anos, que poderá ser da ordem de 1 milhão por ano do governo, que virá parte desse dinheiro que nós estamos falando, e mais 1 milhão, pelo menos, de parceria com as indústrias. Mas também outras 4 câmaras novas para novos setores já estão sendo desenhados, e antes mesmo, ou no mesmo dia em que as 4 primeiras forem já anunciadas, outra chamada para mais 4 serão concluídas no Brasil. Nós precisamos ampliar a infraestrutura laboratorial que nós temos no país, agregar a elas essas novas tecnologias que são imprescindíveis para a construção das soluções que nós estamos tratando, e tratar de uma maneira bastante ampla essa transformação digital, dando o enfoque necessário e aproveitando as oportunidades que a indústria 4.0 precisa e pode oferecer ao Brasil e à Alemanha. Quero desejar a todos uma excelente programação, muito debate. Contem com o Ministério da Ciência, Tecnologia e Inovação na busca de implantação do fortalecimento da relação e na busca de solução dos engenheiros do VDI Brasil.
Prezado senhor Maurício Muramoto, presidente da VDI Brasil, minhas senhoras e senhores do mundo da engenharia, sinto-me muito feliz em poder saludá-los agora. O VDI Brasil é uma antiga conhecida minha. Me lembro bem de ter participado deste evento em 2009. Naquela época, eu era o cônsul-geral adjunto aqui e tinha preparado a minuta do discurso do então cônsul-geral Heinz-Dieter Beer. Talvez um ou outro se lembra de meu chefe antigo. Na ocasião, eu também participei deste evento e fiquei impressionado com o alto nível profissional das palestras e discussões. Também lembro que o evento focava muito na prática da engenharia. Desde então, muitos atores da VDI Brasil mudaram. Gostaria de ter tido a oportunidade de encontrar os novos atores pessoalmente. Infelizmente, a Covid torna isso impossível. Mas adiado não significa cancelado. Aufgeschoben ist nicht aufgehoben, auf Deutsch. Eu acho ótimo que a VDI Brasil não esteja se deixando desencorajar pela pandemia. Parece-me que, com esse dia da engenharia, tematicamente falando, vocês estão fazendo o melhor possível diante dessa situação. Gostaria de transmitir meus sinceros agradecimentos a você, Sr. Maurício, e a todos os que realizam este projeto. Se há algo de positivo a se tirar dessa pandemia da Covid, é que essa crise está mais uma vez acelerando a transformação digital da sociedade e principalmente da economia. A maioria dos expertos vê isso como algo positivo. A transformação digital cria enormes oportunidades de ganho de eficiência e aumento de produtividade para todos nós. Surgem novas perspectivas para a qualidade e individualidade da produção e para a nossa qualidade de vida. Isso inclui novas oportunidades de negócios na área da proteção ambiental e climática. Porém, as novas perspectivas ainda precisam amadurecer e se transformar em concretos modelos de negócios. É claro que existem riscos nessa transformação. Quem cometer um erro durante o processo de digitalização da produção ou perder o bonde vai ficar para trás. O Brasil é um país sumamente criativo e possui uma atmosfera muito inovadora. Em algumas áreas, o país está na vanguarda da tecnologia digital. Isso não se aplica apenas às fintechs. No entanto, ainda existem grandes desafios, principalmente no setor industrial. A palavra-chave é Indústria 4.0. Aqui, a parte da engenharia alemã pode dar uma contribuição bilateral importante. As empresas alemãs e a engenharia alemã, incluindo a nossa pesquisa científica, têm muito a oferecer. Mencionarei mais duas palavras-chave: Fraunhofer-Institute und Max-Planck-Gesellschaft. Institutos Fraunhofer e Sociedade Max Planck. Neste ano, 2 prêmios Nobel em Química e Física foram para diretores de institutos da Sociedade Alemã Max Planck em Berlim, para uma francesa trabalhando e morando em Berlim, e em Munique, em Garching, mais precisamente. O intercâmbio entre o Brasil e a Alemanha me parece muito valioso também no que tange à criação de uma regulamentação específica para a transformação digital e para o progresso na inteligência artificial. Na minha opinião, este Dia da Engenharia Brasil-Alemanha é um evento onde realmente todos ganham. A discussão aqui não é apenas abstrata. Aqui as discussões têm foco claro na prática. Já fiquei impressionado com isso em sua conferência anual há 11 anos. Como Consulado-Geral da Alemanha em São Paulo, queremos apoiar a VDI Brasil da melhor maneira possível em seu trabalho. Informem-nos, por favor, também no futuro, se pudermos fazer algo bom para vocês. Und jetzt wünsche ich Ihnen alles nur erdenkliche Gute für die beiden nächsten Tage, für diese wichtige und interessante Sitzung. Desejo a vocês produtivo 12º Dia da Engenharia Brasil-Alemanha. Alles Gute nochmals und vielen Dank für die Aufmerksamkeit. Muito obrigado pela sua atenção.
Hello to Brazil. This is the VDI President of Germany speaking to you. And I was told that you're celebrating at the moment the 12th Engineering Day in Brazil, and you do this in cooperation between German and Brazilian engineers. I'm very glad about that. And at the very beginning, I wish you a lot of success for this event. Well, nowadays we are a little bit influenced, let me say, by Corona and some other things which presently occur. And what is most important for most of the companies who deal with that event is the resilience, so to say, of the companies, which mean that they have to adapt to a change in the boundary conditions, be it technically or medical or whatever. So the resilience as such is, let me say, a new value which has to be governed and which has to be controlled by the companies. And here in particular, the engineers play an important role in that game, because the engineers have to adapt, so to say, to this changed boundary conditions. And the artificial intelligence, everybody is talking about that, supports and underlines the efforts to to do this. Artificial intelligence is, for instance, used in improving the chains, so to say, the delivery chains of the companies to the major companies, and by analyzing the data which are detected and used in the process, information is created which allows to better control these processes. So artificial intelligence is not only in technical circumstances and views important, it's also important in controlling the logistics behind all these processes. At the end of the day, the technical development and the digitalization in connection with the artificial intelligence gives new opportunities to the entire market and to the entire companies in the market. And the companies usually have understood that they have to improve in exactly these fields. And this is the reason why I previously said that the engineers need to support the entire process and become increased importance for the companies. So I'm personally convinced that everywhere where these boundary conditions are discussed, so for instance in your celebration here in Brazil, you improve by doing this automatically in these areas. So good success and good luck for your event.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 12th Brazilian-German Engineering Day. I'm very happy to welcome you today to this Congress because it's one that has been established over this period, and we have always seen a very good collaboration between Brazil and Germany and our two engineering organizations. Today, the topic is about the digital transformation and digital maturity, and I think that's a topic which is spot on. The Corona crisis has shown that our work, engineers' work, is urgently needed to address the challenges of the future. And one of the aspects that our president, Dr. Käfer, has already talked about is resilience. Companies have to deal with a new situation. The world is changing even faster, and therefore it's an important topic. So industries, companies facing those challenges are currently working and addressing all kinds of issues. Digitalization was already around. Now the speed is increasing, and we actually see that we need even more help. So artificial intelligence, which you are discussing also today, could be one of the topics that is able to help all of us to address those challenges for the future. Therefore, VDI/VDE has developed or is developing a new standard called VDI/VDE 4000 steps to 4.0, which is a new standard coming out in December, which will help companies to self-assess how are they performing in the area of digital transformation, how they are able to address those future challenges. And that's why I'm happy to talk about this, because that will be available for next year. And I'm sure it will help us and it will help our and your companies in Brazil to face those challenges. We are at this moment also working on the next step, which is integrating big data analysis into this. So another standard is going to come out, which should address issues related to how can AI and big data help companies to address future questions. And all that, I think, is very important because we learned with the unfortunate Corona pandemic that we need to act faster. We need to try to understand where the future goes, and therefore some kind of foresight is absolutely necessary, probably more than ever. I therefore wish you a very successful conference. I hope you are going to find the right answers to those questions and that first steps will be developed. I'm very happy to report that we are enjoying a very good collaboration between our two associations and between our two countries, and therefore happy to participate today in this new way via video.
Olá, estamos de volta. Agradecemos muito todas as autoridades pela participação. E para oficialmente dar as boas-vindas a vocês, eu convido ao nosso palco virtual, nosso presidente da VDI Brasil, Maurício Muramoto.
Bom dia a todos e a todas. Sou Maurício Muramoto, presidente da VDI Brasil. É com enorme satisfação que os cumprimento para mais essa jornada da VDI Brasil, com a realização do 12º Dia da Engenharia Brasil-Alemanha. Gostaria de agradecer em nome da VDI Brasil as mensagens proferidas pelos senhores Júlio Semeghini, secretário executivo do Ministério da Ciência, Tecnologia e Inovações, Thomas Schmidt, cônsul-geral da Alemanha, Volker Kirfer, presidente da VDI Alemanha, e Ralf Appel, diretor-geral da VDI Alemanha. Em consonância com o nosso propósito de levar o conhecimento à comunidade dos engenheiros, estamos nesses 2 dias oferecendo conteúdo de enorme relevância para o tema A Maturidade da Indústria 4.0 na Prática. Teremos mensagens de renomados especialistas nos Keynotes. Karl-Heinz Streibich, presidente da Acatec, Matthias Bruckmann, da Universidade de Aachen, e Frank Göhler, da Volkswagen da Alemanha. Teremos discussão no formato Roda Viva sobre maturidade da indústria 4.0 no Brasil, liderança feminina no futuro digital e Platform Solution for Seamless Data Flow along the Value Chain. Disponibilizaremos também inúmeros vídeos on demand com relatos de experiências práticas de empresas brasileiras. E, claro, o tradicional prêmio VDI Brasil. Indústria 4.0, a transformação digital, é um tema de vital importância para o avanço da produtividade da nossa indústria. Nesse sentido, a VDI Brasil está colaborando com a Câmara Brasileira da Indústria 4.0, excelente iniciativa governamental, no sentido de promover a divulgação e o aculturamento das pessoas sobre a Indústria 4.0. Somente o avanço da implementação da Indústria 4.0 teremos o desenvolvimento das indústrias brasileiras e a possibilidade de integrá-las na cadeia de valor mundial. Queria também aproveitar essa oportunidade e salientar uma excelente possibilidade que estamos oferecendo uma avaliação gratuita do índice de maturidade da sua empresa. Iniciativa essa em conjunto com o Maturity Center de Aachen. Baseado no estudo da Acatec, que estabelece 6 estágios de maturidade da indústria 4.0, essa avaliação, com as perguntas originais da Acatec, permite saber o estágio da sua empresa e, consequentemente, que ações a serem desenvolvidas para um avanço nesse índice de maturidade. Cumpre lembrar que essa metodologia permite a avaliação não só o estágio de maturidade tecnológica, mas também a análise da sua estrutura organizacional e cultural, quesitos fundamentais para uma boa implementação da indústria 4.0. Excelente oportunidade, ainda mais gratuita. Para os interessados, por favor, registrar no site, acessando via o QR Code na tela. Finalizando, queria desejar a todos um excelente evento. Muito obrigado.
Obrigada, Maurício. Bom, pessoal, a gente vai fazer um break, às 9h15 estaremos de volta com o keynote do Karl-Heinz Streibes, que é o presidente da CATEC, e vai falar sobre a jornada 4.0. Eu vejo vocês lá. Bem-vindos de volta. Agora a gente vai para o nosso primeiro item da programação de hoje. E, bom, como muitos já sabem, uma das instituições fundadoras do conceito de Indústria 4.0 em 2011 foi a Academia Alemã de Ciência e Engenharia, que é a ACATEC. E também pelas fortes ligações da indústria, assim como na academia, eles trabalharam constantemente para transformar a ideia na marca que hoje é mundialmente conhecida. Agora, quase 10 anos depois, e com a pandemia do Covid-19, a gente vê que a implementação da indústria 4.0 acelerou, não só na Alemanha, mas também no Brasil. E segundo um levantamento que é muito interessante, que a VDI na Alemanha fez no mês de abril, 68% das empresas estão dando uma prioridade ainda mais alta aos projetos de transformação em decorrência da pandemia. Bom, e agora a gente tem a oportunidade de ouvir do presidente da ACATEC quais serão as próximas fases desse desenvolvimento na Alemanha. E, na sequência disso, a gente vai discutir e debater aqui com vocês como isso se adequa para a nossa realidade, a realidade do Brasil. Tá? Essa discussão ela vai ser liderada pelo meu colega, vice-presidente na VDI Brasil, José Borges. E aí, pessoal, a gente pede que vocês direcionem suas perguntas durante a apresentação pelo chat. Nós vamos selecionar algumas para que elas possam ser abordadas e respondidas durante o painel. Então, agora, nesse sentido, finalmente eu convido ao palco virtual o presidente da ACATEC, Karl-Heinz Steibich.
Hello, my name is Karl-Heinz Steibich. I'm the president of ACATEC, the Academy of Technical Science. I'm happy to speak to you today about taking the right steps on the digital journey, on Industry 4.0 to sovereign data rooms. But first of all, I would like to introduce to you ACATEC. Next one, please. ACATEC is, as I said, the National Academia of Technical Science and Engineering. We are absolutely independent, self-determined. We represent science as well as the economy. That means we are an academia which has two pillars, a science pillar and, if you want, an economical pillar. Therefore, we have two presidents. We have a president for the science part, which is Herr Spath. He is the gentleman to the left of Mrs. Merkel, from Mrs. Merkel point of view, or on the right side, from our point of view, and me being on the left side. This was the introduction of myself and the farewell event of my predecessor, Professor Kagermann, who is one of the key inventors, founders, or originators of Industry 4.0. We are supported by Germany, the state, as well as all 16 federal states. And our mission is that we advise the government as well as society on the technological evolution, on innovation, on the further development of society. More than 570 members are scientific members. They are personal members of ACATEC, and we have 106 senators. Those are the representatives of the companies. Next one, please. But that you know a bit more, a bit better what ACATEC is, I want to also compare it to other similar academias from other countries, as for example Sweden, as the oldest one was founded 1919, but also the National Academia of Engineering in the United States and all the others. That means this kind of technological academia is something that all major countries have who want to foster innovation on one side, and on the other side want to support the public in being able to make decisions themselves, on deciding on the technological evolution, so that the opinion is not just based on fake news or occasional news, but that there is a clear process of informing and also advising the public on what they should think and how they should deal with the new technology. Next one, please. The international activities of ACATEC, you see them here in the next picture, are in the Far East. We also collaborate with Japan, with the Chinese academia, but also with the United States. And you see, we are truly global, and we are really absolutely open, to collaborate with those who want to network with us on advising society and the government on the technological innovation. Next one, please. The strategic projects of the German governments in the context of industrialization are threefold. One is Industrie 4.0, with a core task of rethink production, processes, and the workplace. There's also a second and a third one, which I will cover after Industrie 4.0. The key message on that is between 2011 and 2013, this big program, Industrie 4.0, was developed, and we have made in Germany significant progress, but we also learned that there is a long tail of adoption. It takes a while until, not only society, but also the enterprises adopt these kind of concepts. And it is called Industry 4.0 because we believe that it really is the fourth industrial revolution. Before, we called it cyber physical systems. That is a combination of digital and the real economy, the real tools in the production facilities. And we see that it has an environmental impact, it has a social impact, and it has an economic impact. The most important issue of the environmental impact is, from my point of view, that, we are able to produce individual products based on a cost structure for mass production. Point one. Point two, we can produce systems. When you combine it, for example, with 3D printing, that you don't have, for example, a big block of material and shape out of that your device, your spare part or whatever, but that you only use and produce the material you need. So Industrie 4.0 lives from the combination of all associated and related technologies. Key is that the production becomes highly flexible in the sense that you have a smart factory which comprises of the smart machines on one side, the smart operators, that means the fully automated operators, and which create the smart products. That means overall the smart factory, which is then embedded into smart logistics, but also smart buildings and smart grids for power supply and for telecommunication. Therefore, IoT, the Internet of Things, is a core element of Industry 4.0, because with the industry, with the industrial IoT, you have all the information from the sensors, from the machines, from the system. You have the digital data there, which you then can really correlate, associate with each other, and further develop the next action based on reality, what happens now. Therefore, Industry 4.0 is a real-time system. Next one, please. The so-called Industry 4.0 Maturity Index, which we developed at Acatech, gives a tremendous guideline for all users. And with users, I mean for all adopters. We have developed the first one in 2017, and the second one in 2020. You see, it is really up to date, and it is used, and it's highly appreciated by German companies. It helps, the companies to give them a guideline to know where you are, where you stand. And therefore, we have defined 6 maturity stages, which analyze the capabilities, the resources, the information system, up to the culture and the organizational structure. And each development stage comprises concrete additional benefits for companies, because they are all an integral part of the evolution to Industry 4.0. Next one, please. And these are the 6 stages. First of all, computerization has been done in most of the companies, in all companies. The next one is connectivity. This is still an element, I think probably 20 to 30% of the machines are really connected to further platform which provide then Industry 4.0 related visibility, that you see what really happens on the machine. It is unbelievable how many companies don't know what happens with their machines on the customer side. And it gives further transparency, because you also have the historic data, and therefore you learn why things are happening. You suddenly understand your machine much better in real life. And the next step, stage 5, is then when you have all the historic data, you have the actual data, then you can predict the future behavior. That means being prepared. Predictive maintenance is a very popular part of that. And the next step are then autonomous systems, self-optimizing systems. But this is a maturity level which is only very, very rarely achieved today, but we prepare for the future by knowing what is our goal on that. Next one, please. And when you want to have a look at the entire context, then you see that with the Acatech Industry 4.0 Maturity Index, this is embedded into the entire flow of activities of Acatech, synchronized with the government, synchronized with the big associations in Germany. And the case studies, which we also produced in 2020, show the status quo of the companies that we have studied. The presentation, you see the presentation of the case studies, but even more important, a description of the next steps and trends that we see. Next one, please. And the progress which is made is very encouraging, but it is still a long way. And why? Because the full digitization of the industry is a journey. It's not a project, by no means. It is a long journey, but which provides benefits at every single stage already. And these benefits that it provides are instrumental for further motivation to continue, because it is also a journey which is cumbersome from time to time, but it is worthwhile every single step. We found out that almost every company has already identified their needs in the context of Industry 4.0 and have started. More than 45% of the companies have not yet achieved extensive horizontal and vertical integration of their in-house system. With vertical integration, we mean from the shop floor up to management, and horizontal, we mean that it is the end, really covering the entire shop floor, for example. But almost every company thinks, how can we access the real-time data on the systems, on the machines that we have installed? They realize it requires a cultural change. And therefore, lean management programs are also running in parallel, because you suddenly realize that you don't need such a deep hierarchical structure in the organization, because the systems itself and the systems and the information provided by the system is sufficient to know what is going on. But the very good message is 80% of all companies have already taken first steps towards connecting their machine systems and obviously also the people. But 49% are still at the computerization stage in the structural area of resources. Next one, please. The key challenges in the different structural areas are that very often, due to all the proprietary systems that are installed, there are different protocols, different data models. And therefore, the quality of data is not good enough. Master data management is a key issue in this context. And from organization structure still to hierarchical, so that you cannot really make benefit out of the more or less independent or self-determined systems. And in respect of culture, we realize that there are still a lot of companies who have not yet fully involved their employees. And sometimes it's even up to the CEO, who thinks that digital is a project or thinks it will pass away, the relevance. But I think especially the Corona phase showed us in a very intense way that digital is a way to remain efficient, also in times of social distancing. The key lesson learned is, instead of focusing on company-wide transformation and transform everything at a time, just look at projects which are digestible, but put them into the entire landscape of what you want to do. Next one, please. Next chart, please. When you look at the industry, Industry 4.0 maturity index, and you look at the trends that we have on the digital journey, then you realize one thing which is key. Always think end to end. They have to think as a manager has to think end to end, not only the fraction of what he is supposed to do. Then the usage of edge computing combined with cloud. There is no way that you can transfer all the data from sensors directly to the cloud outside the factory. And by the way, there is a big reluctance in doing so. And therefore, edge computing is a key. You need the edge cloud, if you want, on the factory level, that you are self-sufficient and that it's only a fraction of data which is going to the cloud. Then transforming hierarchical into agile organization. I already mentioned it. And this goes along with empowering your staff, that they shape the digital transformation and that they accept it. Next one, please. So, the task and goals of the platform Industrie 4.0, which are composed, which are driven, which are supported, as I said, invented by Acatec in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Research, but also the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. And this mutual initiative that we have created and that we are driving is absolutely dependent on the execution level. That means it is theory and it remains theory as long as not the first concrete projects start on the shop floor. And for that reason, they have seen that we have to drive it not only on a country level, but also on a European level. This is the reason why we are, as Acatec, also acting on a global level in context with the Industrie 4.0 activities. You know, in Japan, it is called Society 5.0. In the US, it's called Industry, written with a Y instead of IE at the end, which is German. And they are all addressing the different sizes of company in a different way. That means the global companies are very often self-sufficient, but it is the small and mid-sized enterprises that need most guidance and most help. And therefore, it was also clear that we had to shape the regulatory environment, because with the regulatory environment is the pre-competitive collaboration the focus point. Very often, you know, the antitrust regulation is very much limiting the pre-competitive collaboration, especially in the automobile industry in Germany. We have big issues there, but we have to overcome them, because the digital society and the digital industry is an industry for sharing. That means we have to collaborate. It is the collaboration networks that enable us in being the winners also in the digital world. There is no way that someone, you know, can survive based on his proprietary actions and activities. It is open, it is standard-based, it is collaboration-based. Next one, please. Therefore, we started, as I already mentioned, a number of international cooperation initiatives as well. And they give us also experience-based input from the others, but we give them input as well. And the most important lesson learned is that the involvement of everyone in the company is the key to success. Industry 4.0 is a target, is a journey, it's a concept, it's a strategy. A lot of tools are there that the companies have the guidance, but it has to be driven from top in the company top down, and it has to be accepted bottom up. Only this combination makes a success out of that. This is what we have seen in all the global relationships we have, in the feedback we got from other countries as well. Next one, please. So, here you have a small summary of the entire context and what we have seen in the various countries. Sure, this brand and the concept has been invented by architect by Germany. We are extremely strong. You know, Germany is a powerhouse in respect of industrialization. In the United States, there is a strong focus on new business models, especially on the startup sections. And in other countries, you know, we see that it is thriving, and it is very often joined with other startup initiatives, with other innovation initiatives. It is embedded into a wider context. As in Japan, the best example, they call it Society 5.0. Next one, please. So the key for that is open standards. You know, if everyone would remain with his proprietary system, there would be no way to succeed. Adoption of standards. And these open standards are, and this is very positive, that 72% view open standards as extremely important. So it is very often the suppliers who sing a different song when they want to be successful with their proprietary systems. But in a connected world, the interconnectivity and the compatibility is the key as such. And therefore, the highest priority is interoperability based on open standards and architectures. And therefore, the international collaboration is absolute key. Next one, please. So this is in Industry 4.0 as a concept where we are including the maturity index. Then the next step was the smart service Welt, so smart service world. There we took Industry 4.0 and prolonged it to the business models. And why that? Sure, you have to translate your digital transformation into business models to have the benefit out of it. Next one, please. With a smart service world, the key question we had to answer was, how are smart services created? And this is a bit a complex chart, but you see on the left side that it's from the machine to the digital platform out to the users who have the automated vertical integration of their systems. And the key targets out of that are, first of all, superior user experience. This ease of those citizen users, that you do not need the highly specified experts for everything. The machine is able to do a lot itself. But it's also the basis for distributed smart services. Through the internet, you have the infrastructure to combine services also with others, regardless where they are located. And the goal with the digital platform is obviously that for the massive data you have, that you come from the big data to smart data. That means this analysis of the data, the streaming analytics is a core element beside the data on rest, where you have a lot of data stored and you take it and you analyze it whenever you're ready. Beside that, you have the streaming analytics activities in this platform as well. So that at the end of the day, you have the smart products which are generating all these big data. Next one, please. That means business models of the digital economy are obviously based on smart services. That means when you look at this chart, then you see that the value proposition must be in the center of all thoughts, of all thinking. And out of the value proposition, you are able to create your new business model. Why? To earn money. This is the ultimate goal on being more efficient, scale better, grow with lower costs. And as you know, in digital platform, process costs are almost zero. And now imagine how many old business models are still living on high process costs. And this is a major change and a major, let's say, innovation going forward, that through digital platforms, process costs go to zero. Next one, please. And then the third major program beside Industry 4.0, Smart Service World, are the autonomous system. You remember this had been level 6 on the maturity index. And with the autonomous systems, we have to rethink social, legal, and ethical implications. We say the autonomous systems are assisting systems. They are assisting human beings in factories, in the future, on the road, with autonomous driving and other areas. But it is the ultimate goal of the digital journey. Therefore, Industry 4.0 end-to-end is from the automation of the factory up to level 6, the autonomous system. And as I said, it is by far not only a technical challenge. It is a challenge of changing behavior inside the company, but also giving the information to society of what it is, what it means, what it isn't, because the faster technology evolves, the more resistant we seem to have in a number of countries on the technology evolution, because people do not understand it anymore. What do you think if you would make a survey in any country, first world, second world, third world, doesn't matter. Make a survey, what is a data room? I'm sure that the answers will be somewhat unexpected or disappointing. For that reason, we have to educate society. You know, we are in a fundamental change. We are in a complete new wave where human beings must define a new relationship to technology. We all know, you know, when I was born, there had been 2.5 billion people on the world. Now we have 3 times more, 7.5 billion. In less than a lifetime. And this was only possible through the efficiency increase of technology. That means our lives stand already on a high mountain of technological enablements. But we will only be possible to stabilize that, to further develop it, and solve the problems of the future, the energy crisis. Now also the pandemic crisis and others. We are only able to solve the problems of the future with technology of the future. That means we must have a continuum of innovation, and their Industry 4.0 up to autonomous systems is a major contribution of it. Next one, please. For that reason, we have also a plattformlernende Systeme. That means we have artificial intelligent platform of learning systems, self-learning systems. The Ministry of Research and Education, Minister Anja Karliczek and myself are the co-heads of it. We are shaping the artificial intelligence programs for Germany. And we also have defined an artificial intelligence map where we see where we are in Germany with all the artificial intelligence activities. Then you only get what you measure. You can only improve when you know where you are. This is a very important next step, supporting autonomous systems and beyond. Next one. And this is this map. We have already illustrated more than 850 examples AI made in Germany across all industries and fields and applications. And there are practical examples from science as well as from the economic side. It's all documented and you can have access to it on the internet at any time. Next one. And when you look AI applications by technology field, then you realize that data management and data analysis obviously is a major use case of it, because this is where it all starts. But the digital eye, the digital hand, digitizing the human senses and having solutions for that, which can be reused based on standard interfaces and in standard technology, is the focus area there. Therefore, you see human-machine interaction, sensor technology, robotics, but also natural language processing and virtual augmented reality, which starts now, which will be a major part of the future. That means when you see now here, data management and analysis, 50% of the examples, this will tremendously change over time as technology evolves and adoption of the technology improves as well. Next one, please. Therefore, we have also made new publications there, from data to value creation networks. They are available in German, and we will also make them available in English. And they are, a prolongation of what we have breached with Industry 4.0, from data to value creation. Next one, please. One key element of that is what I mentioned before. It is always about creating networks. And therefore, we have shown with every single example in this booklet how the collaboration of companies, people, and institutions bring those great solutions forward. And this collaboration, believe it or not, is extremely difficult. First, large enterprises are not used to collaborate. They are self-sufficient. The small ones, they live on their monopoly, which is very often a proprietary monopoly. And both aspects are not a natural promoter of networking. Therefore, big companies and small companies, for different reasons, have to learn to collaborate. Next one, please. So, fostering access to relevant data. We are at the moment creating data rooms for the manufacturing side, for autonomous systems, in the context of smart service worlds, but even more important, we also do that for different industries. We also do it for the health space. We do it for the mobility space and other spaces. That means being sovereign and independent, I would even say independent of the big hyperscalers in respect of creating your own data spaces is key, is instrumental. And therefore, we are also pushing at the moment a big project, which I'm privileged personally to head, for the sovereign data space for mobility in Germany and Europe. And that will also be a blueprint for others. And here is also very clear that you need one data space for all three evolutionary areas for the basic Industry 4.0 automation level on the factory floor, for the smart service worlds, as well as for the autonomous systems. Next one, please. And these data spaces, which I have just mentioned, are also fully supported by the EU. And the EU, the European Community, is also pushing, and we are adapting to them. We are connecting with them, that we are already what we do now, building a blueprint for a European extension. Then because we need the European volume, the European momentum, the European space for being competitive on a global basis. Next one. And this is one example for the sovereign data space on the mobility side, where we are combining the public transportation system on top with the private data rooms with here, and with international data spaces, we create a common level playing field for everyone, with the rules and the governance and everything which is required to have a data space that is really working and that everyone adheres to the rules. Next one, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are doing in Germany. This is what Acatec is driving. Acatec, the inventor of Industry 4.0. But we know that Industry 4.0 is the beginning of the journey. It's by no means the end. It's the beginning of a big transformation. Our goal is that the leadership we have on the classical industry areas in Germany and Europe, we want to use them to collaborate with other countries, also Brazil and others, to use the benefits of the digital world for every one of the 7.5 billion humans worldwide. Thank you very much.
Let's produce like a boss. Easy use like a boss. Connect machines like a boss. Perfect team like a boss. Flexible line like a boss. So make it mine like a boss. No downtime like a boss. That's worth a rhyme.
Excuse me? Did you say no downtime? That's not true. We have scheduled downtime.
Like a boss. Control detect like a boss. Phone check like a boss. Go 5G like a boss. IoT. so efficient. That's a mission. Never stressed like a AR test like a data cloud makes me proud. Together we save energy. IoT, 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 IoT. Manufactured like a Bosch, with many innovations for the factory of the future. From Bosch.